Your story is unique and valuable. And you might ask, well, what is your story? What does that mean? And your story means the reason you were born, the reason you're on this earth. It is unique and it's also valuable. And that is something that you come to discover as you live your life. And as you do that, you live a really great one. But sometimes we have difficulty with that, and you might have had that recently, or you might have had it throughout your life. So that meant I was supposed to come and tell you how valuable your life is, because I know that is true, and I also know that's why you happen to be alive now. We don't always discover who we are instantly when we come into the world. It's always a venture that we're moving on. It's always this self discovery, every single person. And then there are different times in our world where that challenge might be a little more difficult, and that is the time that we're living in now. However, that could also be the best time for you, because I know that you're probably moving through something that's challenging or difficult, because that means that you have something great that's within you that is waiting to come out, because you're being motivated by the conditions of the world. I also know that that is true because we start to understand how things happen. We start to understand science. But let me read you a message that I'm meant to give you, because I know this is true about you, and the more of us who come to understand and accept this one message, we will live very, very different lives, but also what will happen is we'll see a very different world, because we are the ones creating all of it. We're creating our lives and we're creating the world. And this message will help you, because when you can accept it, it will change everything about you. But then I also have another gift for you, which I put up on my site, Any Advice for Today, but I'll show you that as well, because I really want you to understand how powerful you are, how brilliant you are, what you can accomplish, because I know that there's no limits to what you can do. And I'm going to show you a lot more of that today. But first, this is this one message I want you to have. This is the message. Now, it came through January 11th, 2012. Your story is unique and valuable. It is unique because no other soul shares precisely your story. It holds the utmost value for you. Your story is comprised of everything your past holds, including all that has occurred for you, happened to you, everything you have done, every person you have met, and every word you have spoken. All of it has been and always will be perfect. Your only job, then, is to seek to know the perfection of your story. Any aspect of your particular story that you attempt to ignore, dismiss, or judge will cause you to experience some difficulty, because you are refusing to receive the information and wisdom your story holds. Wilhelm. And if you don't know, Wilhelm is who I've been channeling and writing since 1989, and this message came through in 2012. But the difficult part was the very last paragraph, because I'm sitting in judgment of all the things that I have gone through and moved through, and I'm thinking, wow, how can I let go of that? How can I accept myself? Except then to discover that all those things gave me so much more to give to others, and that's exactly the same for you. It's just that we don't get there all the time, because we've been taught something else, and we keep judging ourselves for what we have moved through, not recognizing what we have accomplished. So we needed a way to change that, and that's what I was given. But it goes on from there. So that's the first message. But I didn't get this at first. You don't either. None of us do. We're always in this state of continual progression or acceptance of who we are. So then the next thing that happened was this. And what I'm going to do is show you a different message that came. So now I'm going to tell you something funny, because I only discovered this yesterday. And what you're going to find about yourself is you'll discover things about yourself that you didn't know were there. And so I received that first message I read to you about your story on January 11th of 2012. But then 2 years later, on the same date, January 11th, a same message coming through, your story is valuable to so many others. Your story or your history is comprised of all your experiences on the physical plane. Every experience that you have, whether it is joyful, difficult, or challenging for you, always leaves you with more awareness and wisdom, and that is what causes you to expand as you intended. Many times you are not even aware that this has occurred until you are in the presence of others and decide to share your story and immediately feel the impact that your story has on them, which they in turn will share with others. This is how evolution happens, and it is your part in this evolution, and it is important for you because when you are actively involved, you expand more. Wilhelm. And what that is saying again is that each person comes into the world at a particular time to live something that could contribute to creating the world. Now we're living at a place now, in a time now, where maybe we haven't done that. I didn't do that because it seems so different. And I thought I would give you a little more information today because everything is in consciousness. Everything you experience about yourself and the world and how you perceive it is in your consciousness. Your consciousness was formed when you were born, when you came into the world, and it was formed by all those other people, the ancestors and everyone who came before, and it's always limited. Doesn't matter who you are. We always have more that we can do because, again, it's a continuation that happens in our consciousness if we choose to do that. So that's what's going on. But today I put up something else because I'm doing a channeling session, a Wilhelm channeling session on a new moon, which is on December 1st. Whenever that comes through, there is more energy. Everything in the universe is energy. And so when I'm doing a channeling session, I'm accessing cosmic guidance that comes through, and it always gives us more understanding of what might be happening in our lives and in the world. So that's what's happening on December 1st, and I'd love for you to come to that because we just have this lack of belief. I had it as well. When I started receiving Wilhelm, I thought this can't be making sense, and I know everyone else has that because we don't understand consciousness and how it can change and how it changes over time, how we can accept something individually, but also how our mass consciousness, our collective consciousness, can believe or accept something. The only reason we don't change is that we can't believe ourselves. We can't believe that we're capable of doing something, and then nothing changes. We don't believe we can do it in our lives, and so then we don't believe we can change something in the world, and we look at things now and we think, this is hopeless. And I said, no, it's not. Because I was given this plan that anyone could live this wonderful life, and then the world begins to change. But let me show you what's up here because you will go through you will be changed today if you just read through all of these messages, and you will see how you start to think about yourself in a new way. Because that's all we're ever doing is uncovering something in our neural pathways that can allow us to accept more about who we can become because there are no limits to that. But this will help you understand so much, and you're going to just take some time with it. Use each message a couple days and just see what happens. But you will see if you go through all of them, your brain will be changed. And then also if you listen to the recording, it'll kick in even more. But let me show you the message first. Also, this is on my site, anyadvicefortoday.com, but I will leave a link in the description of this video as well. But the title is, Now You Will Understand How Nothing You Did Was in Vain. That is for each person. When we move through our lives, we don't understand things and we think we're screwing something up, but we're not. We're learning something. And if we take the time to understand who we are and what we're learning, then we change, and then we can also help change our world, which is what we're meant to do. But December 1st is the new beginning, and that's what I'm calling the channeling session that we're doing. And it took us back to December 1st of 2008. And if you're into astrology or understanding all of that thing, that you would see that that was an energetic change in our world as well. So it would be helpful just to go through each one. And anything and everything that you could ever desire is already in place for you, merely awaiting your acceptance. And I can tell you that is true now after writing it, receiving it, I should say, in 2008 and seeing it unfold in my life. But it was a process. It's the same for you. And then purpose, intention, and motivation are intricately woven together in anything you desire to create. The next one, you always attract precisely what you need. Now, most people don't believe that, but that's because we're fighting things usually or resisting them, not understanding that it's helping us expand and open up to who we're meant to become. And every single one of these, as you will see, will give you more information. Your consciousness will open. And what I did was, over 35 years, I sat down and I did this every single day. And it was something kind of unbelievable, and also something that I didn't accept easily. You probably haven't accepted something about yourself because it's always out in front of you, and you don't know what it's going to be when you come into the world, but I know that it's something wonderful. The thing that I resisted was telling so many people about this because it didn't make sense. How did I heal? The same way you will. When you come into alignment with who you are, that's your authentic self, there are energies that start to align within you that cause your life to move in a completely new way, because that's an energetic shift that you will have. And I can sit and say these things because that's exactly what happened. And at 74, and to move through from birth to having everything wrong and move through my life and have everything healed and better and moving in a completely different direction, I know what you can accomplish. And the only reason you don't is because you've been taught something else, and I do get that. There's one thing that Wilhelm gave me, and I'll tell you this too, because if you use it and understand it, you will see that you can change anything. They gave me the 3 P's: practice, patience, and persistence. And this can work for any single person, because the only thing that stops you is what you're thinking and what you've programmed yourself to believe or accept it. So practice. That means if you're not having something in your life that you want, you've been practicing thoughts in an incorrect way about yourself or about the world or whatever it might be. So you just have to practice something different. And then you have to be patient with yourself, because what happens is you will uncover things that you didn't see before, and then you'll start to judge yourself or regret or all of that. Like I've done that because I said, how could I have not told people what all this is? Because it wasn't time yet. That's all. And the same for you. And so when you start to understand that, then you start to move on. But then you have to be persistent, because you will be willing to give up. And the only reason anyone doesn't have what they want is because they have given up. And there is a channeling session, I've just put several up recently that are years old, from Wilhelm, that says exactly that. The only reason that we stop is because we give up, in terms of because we don't believe ourselves, we're not using the tools, because this was all about neuroscience. This is all the science of changing your mind to understand who you are and living this great life. And that was the philosophy that I was given, that came through me, and that's what I'm completing now. And I'm saying that because you will see that people have only done 31 days of this work. What happens if you do all of it? What happens if I put it all in there? I'm just saying I'm putting so much more in there because now it's been tested, proven, and it's shown results. There's no reason for you not to have the life you want to have. There's no reason for you not to prosper and thrive, because that's why you were born. And I know that. And when I'm doing a channeling session, you will see I'm always answering questions about you from the cosmic place, not from what my ego is. I had to get out of the way of that. It's just what you are meant to do in this world. And that's what my work does. That's what the program does. That's the work that Wilhelm gave me. It wasn't me creating it. I downloaded and wrote all of this. And you will understand that as you read this particular thread of messages today, and you will feel so much better about yourself. And please come to the channeling session, because you will get so much more information then. And I'm telling you, this is a portal that's opening on that day that gives you the ability to start to propel your life forward in a way that you want it to be, and that you make a contribution to our world because it's within you. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to the channel and share it with others. See you soon.